The world of Naruto is complicated. I think the reason why Naruto is one of the most criticized series of all time is simply because Kishimoto, which let me just say is the reason why I love Naruto, Kishimoto tells more than one story at a time with all of its characters. We went from becoming Hokage to saving Sasuke to solving the cycle of hatred, which, to be fair, there wasn't a lot of focus on that compared to the other goals in Naruto. The cycle of hatred gets mentioned here and there, but it was never a main focus. You also had other characters with their ideologies and goals, like Itachi being undercover in the Akatsuki arc, and we found out he always cared for Sasuke at the end. He was a mere object, receiving information about the Uchiha, also going back to his own clan and updating them with their information, what they wanted to hear from the village, trying to help out both sides by being a spy, but also trying to make the ultimate decision to walk the right path. Jiraiya and Pain's storylines about hatred, war, politics, and how foolish young children can grow up in the face of war until their minds thinks as adults and eventually become gods. Kakashi's story arc, about trying to find happiness within darkness, and showing a smile pretending everything is okay, but the pain is still there. Neji's viewpoint on destiny and death, and how we can't change anything about ourselves from the moment we are born. What I'm getting at here, Naruto never had one clear direction. It never did. We started off with a simple 12-year-old kid who wanted to be acknowledged, but the further in depth Kishimoto went into his own story, the more that we knew Naruto wasn't really about Naruto anymore. I've talked about this before, but Naruto is the main character of his own series, yes. At the same time, he's the reason why we discover newer characters on the road on his journey, and we understand them more, and we love their ideologies even more. Pain, Itachi, Jiraiya, Madara, Obito, Kakashi, even Shikamaru, but Naruto isn't the best written in his own series. People would honestly just say Naruto is the best character just because he's the main character and that we all grew up with him. And well, I disagree. I grew up with Naruto as well, but holy shit, Kishimoto is just better at writing side character arcs than the main character's arcs. Honestly, if you truly believe there's other characters better written than Naruto that you know that you love more than him, just admit it, be honest, stop lying to yourself. You don't have to put Naruto at number 1 just because you grew up with him. A lot of people do that, you don't have to. We understand the feeling of liking another character over the main character. There is an actual good reason why Naruto is both hated and loved as a main character. Both sides have the right to acknowledge the writing because they do understand the meaning of his whole character, but there is the other side of people's perspectives who just can't understand his character arc, like at all. Some fans say there's a difference between being the chosen one and being a reincarnation, even though there's plenty of people who say everything I just said is all in one setting for Naruto, and Naruto's whole story arc is just too complicated and confusing for a lot of other people out there, and the fans who tried so hard to understand, but they are just so confused on what Kishimoto was trying to do with Naruto. People claim they are plot holes and retcons in his whole character, which to be fair, that is an actual fair criticism. But, it's the side of the community that Naruto fans love the series, but maybe they just don't understand Naruto at all. They claim to the other side of the fanbase it was never about hard work, it was never about solving the cycle of hatred, it was never about trying to make peace in the world. But if you really think about it, if it's not about any of those things, then what is Naruto about, really? And well, that's my answer. Naruto doesn't have one clear direction. Other characters have their own goals, their own ideologies, and what I love about Kishimoto's writing that he doesn't give enough credit for, he has the brains to tell more than one story with other character arcs, to be invested in their storylines, their goals, their dreams, their ideologies, their dark backstories, their childhoods, even the adults in Naruto, Kakashi, Pain, and Jiraiya, everything that they went through. He ties everyone's character arc beautifully well told. At the same time, the story is still talked about and discussed as Naruto's journey and his story arc. Kishimoto can tell more than one story about any of his side characters from a start to finish, and then go back to Naruto the main character, and it feels like everything still feels complete. I don't think a lot of people give that credit to Kishimoto. He can tell so many storylines. I love that about his storytelling. Kishimoto can go back to any character, and it feels like they are the main focus, they are the main character. Rock Lee, Jiraiya, Kakashi, Pain, Hitachi. Anytime there's a side character that has the main focus, and when Naruto's never around, it doesn't feel like the story at all is slowing down. Because his side characters are so well written, it feels like, yeah, I'm okay to watch this show without Naruto being around. Hitachi, Pain, Kakashi. They're so interesting, their lives. They are loved. How many other stories out there can pull off a good character arc that is a side character and still be interesting for the audience and for us to still care? And yeah, we haven't seen Naruto in a while, but it doesn't feel like the story is going downhill at all. And for him to be that consistent, wow, that's pretty fucking impressive by Kishimoto. I wish people acknowledged that a lot more about his work. Now, going back to when I said Naruto doesn't have one clear direction. Maybe Kishimoto had too much of imagination. Maybe he didn't spend as much time as he should to all the story points in Naruto. But honestly, maybe it was never all rushed to begin with. Maybe it's just us overthinking our imagination of disagreeing with everything he's done, and we keep adding more retcons and plot holes that were really never really there. Maybe we are the ones to blame. Maybe we are the ones that make Naruto more complicated than it already was or is. And I'm guilty of it. I have overthinked about Naruto so many goddamn times. But that's why we love Naruto, because there's so much about it. There's so many ideologies, love, perspectives on war, people, what makes a village, growing up without a family, growing up your whole life being lonely, how to keep surviving and moving on when you have so much guilt on your shoulders. Like, Naruto is a personal shonen character human story. Maybe I'm right, maybe Naruto never did truly have one clear direction, because there's just so many other things and ideas that Kishimoto put in. It's really hard to really think that Naruto had one clear direction, because when you add all the other storylines from all the other characters, and when you get invested in their storylines and their ideologies and their perspectives of the world as well, and when you go back to Naruto's, what if his ideology is wrong? What if Neji was right? What if Pain was right? You know, there's just so much that ties in back to Naruto's character. It's really hard to really think there's one clear direction here. And maybe that's what Naruto is. It's a mess of a story. It's a mess of a series. But at the same time, maybe it's not. I don't know. But this is my perspective of the world of Naruto. What Kishimoto was setting out, what he changed, the reincarnation, the cycle of hatred, it's all there. But maybe we overthink it. But maybe we don't. There's two sides of the fan base. One claims they are right, and the other claims they are wrong. And sometimes it's reversed. Sometimes they think and believe they are the ones that are wrong, and we are the side that is right. It's a long one, guys. But let me know your opinions about Naruto's perspective and the whole series and the world itself. I am Delix. Subscribe if you want, and stay ninja weird, and have a good night. Bye.